Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. And I know I'm delayed in reviewing the Falcon and the Snowman, just like I did for WandaVision. But in both of these cases, sorry, my phone is dinging. In both of these cases, I really wanted to wait until the hype had died down and watch them together. For some reason, I wasn't really interested. I wouldn't say interested. I couldn't get myself excited for these shows. Uh, I don't know why, but eventually I did want to watch it. So I don't know exactly when I'm going to upload this video, but it is July 10th. Finally I did watch it. So today is a Saturday. I watched it I watched it the previous Monday and Tuesday. I was planning on watching it, binge watching it together. It's only 6 episodes, but I ended up watching it over 2 days. I am pretty happy with the show. I have to give it full marks for the action. The action is fantastic. Even though it is a mini series, it's got all the. It looks like a big budget Marvel, and I'm not really sure how much they actually spend on it, but it does look like a Marvel movie. Looks the in certain parts. I should mention that because in certain other cases and with the storyline, I actually didn't feel it was a Marvel movie. It's more like a almost like a crime thriller kind of stuff is what I felt, and I guess they were going with that. I'm not really sure, but there is a lot of the cop elements in it. There's a lot of that social commentary, especially with what's going on in America, and of course that racial profiling thing, and they do address it. I guess it's going to be very difficult for American movies to actually, and especially franchises like this, to not address them. I think people are, I mean, especially Americans are going to be looking forward to it. But to be honest, I think it actually detracts a little bit from the show because when you look at a superhero movie, you're not really looking forward for those kind of elements. Not all the time. But you can't help it because yes, whatever has happened is a lot crazy, and so some people are not going to like it because of that element. The thing that I found it's kind of very on the nose, and I was 100% sure, even if I avoided all the news, that when they did show the Captain America, who initially they wanted to take over the role left behind by Steve Rogers, that eventually it was going to go to um, Anthony Mackie's character, the Falcon, because he did get the shield at the end. So I wonder why they actually did that, because it is Steve Rogers who actually decides who's going to be getting the mantle, and whether he gives it to a Chinese American or a Black American or a Russian American. I don't think anybody else should be bothered about it because Steve Rogers was um, Captain America, and he decided that Sam Wilson is the person who's going to be getting the shield. He feels he's worthy, and that's where it should have ended. But yes, they decided to do this, and I think they did do a really good job. The fact is, in America, these kind of questions are always going to come across. So I totally understand why they did it. Uh, and I think for the most part, it was good. There were a few elements, especially of that. The guy who plays the older soldier, I forgot his name. Oh boy, I am struggling to find his name over here. Um, Man, I wish I could. Carl Lumbly, that's his name. Carl Lumbly is an actor who I've seen here and there, and he's got a kind of presence that it's difficult to actually forget him. You definitely do tend to notice him when he's on the screen. And if they had to go select a particular person for this kind of role, I was really happy to see him in that particular role. All right. The other surprise that I knew Emily Van Camp was in this movie, but the other surprise was, and I did get to know it just before I watched the movie. Just before I watched the series. Like I mentioned, I avoided all spoilers, although I had my own ideas about what's going to happen. But I was surprised that Georges St. Pierre is actually reprising his role as a Batroc. I think that's the name of the character. And being a former UFC champion, a martial arts expert himself. Watching him fight is always going to be amazing. And I wish he had a bit bigger role in the Marvel franchise, or maybe DC. Just you want to look at him, and GSP is always going to be somebody that I'm root for. I don't really watch UFC by the way, but I watched an interview of him many years ago. I think before his second title reign or something like that. And ever since then, I was like, became a supporter of his. Although I've barely watched any UFC over the years. Anyway, Daniel Brühl, he was amazing. I mean, to see this guy on screen, I mean, his character is a lot different from what you see in the movie The Avengers Age of Ultron. Sorry, in not Age of Ultron. Sorry, in uh, Captain America Civil War. But this guy, he's a scene stealer, is what I can say. There's a lot of things that's really awesome about his character. Even though I don't really have any sympathies for this character. Truly, I don't have any sympathies for this character, but he's amazing in all the things that you see. Emily Van Camp is also pretty good. I really like the way that character's arc is actually shown, and possibly the reasons why she did change. So I'm not going to go into spoilers too much over here, but the way that her arc is actually shown in this, and the reasons why behind her, her kind of growth or her change in I wouldn't say growth. The way that she's made decisions in life is perfectly understandable. Although there was a question that was asked by a reviewer, and I was wondering if the Winter Soldier could be easily forgiven um, despite all the murders he's done. Why couldn't they actually forgive someone like her? Probably because she was a government agent, works for the CIA. But why couldn't they forgive her for much lesser crimes? She didn't really do much in the entire run, and but yeah, awesome addition to the series. I think that's right. The main sort of antagonist in this, Erin Kellyman plays Carly Morgenthau. Um, I think in the first, when they introduced her, I wasn't really convinced. I wasn't really happy with her performance. But as the show went on, as the episodes went on, I think she kind of did a really good job, coming across as a mix of innocence with a huge dash of a huge splash, I would say, of powerfulness. And I think I'm kind of 50-50 on her, because the initial period I wasn't really liking her at all, but I think towards the end I became a lot more sympathetic towards her cause, her character's cause rather. And yeah, I think she did. Wyatt Russell, who plays John Walker, the guy who's initially given the shield. Yeah, so there was a lot of a lot of hate for the actor and character. There was a lot of jokes about the way he initially looked. The first picture when they introduce him and he's looking at, and people compared him. Okay, is this the guy from Up? Is he Captain America right now? Although I found that to be a little funny. I don't get the hate. He plays a character who, to be honest, is a a stepping stone for Sam to become the new Captain America. You are not supposed to like him. You are not supposed to think that he deserves to be Captain America, because where was he all this while? You saw Sam fighting along with Steve Rogers. You saw Sam fighting with the Avengers. Anybody else could have gotten, but why him? I perfectly understand that, and that's the reason. The reason why they gave it to him is because he happens to be the golden boy for the military, and therefore they wanted to reward him, show him as possibly another Steve Rogers. He's got a lot of similar characteristics, but yes, as we see in the series, he pales in comparison to Steve Rogers. In fact, even pales in comparison to Sam Wilson. But I think the hatred for the actor and the character was misplaced by a lot of people, and that it really shows how dumb social media can actually be. But it has its good points, but it also got the negative points. Giving Sam the sorry, this is the main spoiler. Giving Sam the Shield made a lot of sense because Steve Rogers did it. Although I'm not really convinced that why do they actually have to have him as Captain America, or for that matter, why do they have to have anybody take over the mantle of Captain America? It's not like like the WWE champion or Wimbledon champion, anything like that. It is not something that should be traded, is what I felt. Given to a new person every time the other person dies. On that, it's supposed to be Steve Rogers is Captain America, and you can have some other kind of timeline and have another this thing. But yeah, like I mentioned, I'm not into the comics. I don't really read the Marvel comics. I haven't read them since I was a kid, which was like ages ago. I'm 44, almost 45 right now. But the thing is that in those comics, there must be some kind of explanation. Maybe they're following something or the other, but to me, it doesn't make sense. It wouldn't make sense for somebody else to be the Batman, somebody else to be, Spider-Man, unless it's different timelines, those kind of things, or alternate universes. I do understand those kind of things, but yeah, I think with what he had, I think Wyatt Russell, who is the son of Kurt Russell and Goldie Hawn, I think he did an American job, and he becomes vindicated towards the end. There is talk that he might become a villain later on. I can see that. I can see that. And really surprising to see Julia how do you pronounce the last name? Dreyfus? Really surprising to see Julia Dreyfus in this show as well. But I thought, I don't actually like her character. I hate Elaine in Seinfeld. Out of those four, I can barely stand her. I like all the other three. I just can't stand Elaine in it. Nothing against the actress, but I couldn't stand Elaine at all. Maybe in other shows she's I would like her, because I liked her. I liked her over here. I thought it was well cast. It was like absolutely well cast. To put her, I can see her driving people crazy in this kind of role. And again, scene stealer. She, in the brief moments that she was there, she kind of shone in the spotlight. Who else? You've got Nanny Ramirez as Joaquin Torres. I already mentioned GSP. Adeperu Odoyo as Sarah Wilson, who plays Sam Wilson's sister. And that's another thing. I mean, I wasn't really expecting to have that angle shown in the series, but they're trying to put a lot of current events and the real life scenarios of people who live in, and also Sam's situation of being 5 years away. I mean, because of the blip of the snap that Thanos did. Don Cheadle has a very tiny role, but he's actually credited in a major way over here. Who else? And Cam Florence. Sorry, I'm going to butcher this name, but Florence Kasumba's Ayo. The Dora Milaje, the Wakanda Special Forces, which are all women. The three of them that come in. Did I like that? I'm not really sure. I mean, I don't know. I just don't feel that that particular part was necessary for the show. But because of the Winter Soldier, White Wolf being involved, having stayed in Wakanda for a while, I guess that's it. I did like, sorry, I completely forgot to mention him. Yeah, San Sebastian does a really good job of seeing, him going through the process of having, his life, he's got all these terrors. See him trying to make amends with an innocent person's, because he killed an innocent person while he was the Winter Soldier, and while he was still under their influence, and killed an innocent, and then trying to help the Japanese American character, going on date with the young lady in this thing, trying to strike up a life outside of what he was. I thought that was really done well. And the therapist that he sees, I thought she was pretty good as well in it. I don't really remember her name, but yeah, I thought she was pretty good. So, like we mentioned, Julia Louis-Dreyfus as Valentina Allegra de Fontaine. That's the character's name. Pretty good. Oh yeah, I was surprised to see Clea Bennett, a Canadian actor I've seen on Flashpoint and a couple of other shows. I think on Saw, he's been on Saw before as well. He plays Lamar Hoskins / Battlestar, who is the best friend and kind of like partner for the new Captain America, John Walker, but I thought he did a pretty good job as well. And then John Walker going a little berserk when when he sees his friend killed, and that was really really done well. Anybody else of note? No, that's about it. And yeah, overall, pretty good. I would give the show an 8 out of 10. I wasn't really expecting this. I was expecting something else, but seeing these super soldiers come in and them being the target for our two heroes over here, Sam and Bucky, to go after along with Emily Van Camp's character. I'm sorry, what? This is a problem. um, uh, what Carter? Sharon Carter, sorry. So Peggy Carter's niece, she now is the power broker. So that's the main thing that I will actually tell you. Yeah, and that's about it. I do like the show, pretty good. I might watch it once again sometime later on this year. I am trying to rewatch all the Marvel movies. I kind of took a break in between because I'd watched a lot of them close by. So I will be watching a lot of the superhero movies, slowly over the course of the next few weeks, I guess. But I happen to have a lot of new movies that I want to watch and a couple of other shows that I wanted to watch. So I give it an 8 out of 10. What I would have liked to have seen is a major villain actually being shown. And I don't know if this show is going to get a second season. I think there is talks of them having a second season. Or will they just move these characters back into the movies? I hope both happens. I really hope both happens, and that will be really good for the MCU. So that's it, guys. I rated an 8 out of 10. It was pretty good, especially the first, the first fight scene and all that stuff. The first chase on the helicopters and stuff. That was done really really well. All the fight scenes were amazing, and that's it for me on the Falcon and the Winter Soldier, or as they put it at the end, Captain America and the Winter Soldier. Alright guys, take care. I've got another review of another television mini-series that I just recently watched. In fact, I just finished it off yesterday, or the day before yesterday. And catch you again later. Bye.